Hey everyone, so this has been a pretty crazy day. I was in the middle of doing a video on Stable Diffusion 3.5 when Runway just changed everything again. But yeah, Runway just kind of soft launched Act 1, which is probably the most impressive video-to-video restylizer that I have seen yet. Let's take a quick look at it in action and then we'll talk about it.
I dropped my old phone, so I had to go and get a new one. But you know how much I loved my old phone, so I buried it in front of that church in front of your house.
Yeah, that's pretty wild, and it is just the tip of the iceberg. Okay, let's dive in. So this is a bit of an off-the-cuff video for me. Again, like I was saying, I was in the middle of making another video when Runway dropped this, and I genuinely, truly excited about this because it really feels like a closing of the loop moment for Runway. So way back, specifically March 27th, 2023, Runway first dropped Gen 1. At that point in time, it wasn't even text-to-video yet. It was just video stylization transfers. I mean, look at this. We were blown away by this in March of 2023. Obviously, since then, a lot has changed. We got Gen 2, in which we could do text to image. Then there was image to image. Motion brushes came along, and then we had, Gen 3 and Gen 3 Alpha and Gen 3 Alpha Turbo and whatever other like Street Fighter styled naming conventions they throw at us. Now, to note, it isn't like Runway abandoned video to video. In fact, actually, there's a pretty good video to video model built into Runway's Gen 3. But one issue that I kind of continuously run into with video to video, especially in workflows like I used for my micro short film Tuesday, in which I basically ended up shooting myself here and then using the app Skyglass, created kind of a rough animatic and then ran that through Domo at the time and ended up with results like this. So I did a whole video on that process that of course is linked down below. But the problem with going that route is I've generally found that when you take a performance, and listen, I'm not like an Oscar nominated actor here or anything like that, but when you take, an actor's performance and you sort of layer two generations of, AI processes on top of it, it tends to kind of mute everything down. And really the only way around that is to kind of go big, like you're stage acting almost and performing for, the person that's probably in the cheap seats and they're really not even paying attention to you to begin with. So while the process is very cool, of course, the other side of it is when you take an AI generated video and run it through a video to video process and you end up with results like this, which, I mean, truthfully, this is one of the better ones because you also might end up with results like this in which we can see the, sun basically shining right through the guy. And to be honest, he's not supposed to have a hole in his chest until the end of the movie. But I did have the feeling that Runway was definitely cooking something, especially when I took a shot from Tuesday and ran it through Runway's video to video. It ended up with this as a result, which, yeah, there are some problems with it, but let's not forget that what this is me underneath a CGI model that was generated by an app, which was then turned into an animated character, which was then taken and turned into a real person. So again, we saw an example with kind of an animated output, but how is it with like photorealistic outputs? Well, take a look at this.
Been waiting long enough. I think it's time to decide. You really think you can just walk away from all this?
I have to. There's no other choice.
There's always a choice. You just don't like the alternatives.
What would you have me do? Stay? Just watch it all crumble around me?
It's what you signed up for. It's what we all signed up for.
I signed up to make a difference. I'm not just trying to be a cog in the machine.
You think leaving will solve anything?
It's a start.
So that's pretty great, but I think the really mind-bending part is when you A/B what was actually shot versus what we saw.
There's always a choice.
You just don't like the alternatives.
What would you have me do? Stay?
Just watch it all crumble around me?
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. I mean, one actor. Although I still say that the other character should have been female and our actor should have been wearing a wig for method reasons. Whoever made this at Runway, I do applaud you for just little nice cinematic touches like the establishing shot and a little busy work with the coffee cup that helped set the scene. So while your initial thought might be, well, I won't be able to have two characters in one shot, I don't think that'll necessarily be true It'll just take, some creative masking in order to accomplish that. Essentially do one take with one performance and then another take with another performance and then layer them on top of one another. Something else that I was really impressed with was, if you look at the driving performance here of this actor who is kind of, looking off camera, it does seem to track really well with your generated characters either looking directly at camera, or even in this case, is that the dude from Fish? I think that's the guy from Fish. He is looking accurately to our driving video, but these other two characters are looking dead to camera. Additionally, just taking a look at the examples here, I feel very strongly that these are going to be image to video examples. Like this girl in particular has very much like a Midjourney 5.1 kind of look to her. I appreciate that. But it doesn't look like we're going to be running into the issue that we did with, say, Gen 2's video to video, in which you would have to prompt and your outputs were not necessarily reliably the same output. If we can do this with image to video, we have control over our stylistic output. Now, we don't quite have access to Act 1 just yet. Runway is supposed to be rolling that out within the next 24 hours. Again, I'm really early on this. I can't wait to play with it. So I definitely will roll back with some tests in a little bit. There is a lot of stuff that I'm actually very curious about, such as most of the examples that we've seen here have been lockdown shots. What happens if you put driving video in with handheld, for example? My guess is it won't be great, but hey, let's give it a shot. But reversing that, how much motion control can we put in a generated video output before our facial expressions also start breaking? All good questions. Also to note that all of our actors who provided, I love this guy in the middle, he's the best. Just total side note there. But all of our actors that were, I gotta stop looking at him. All right, take two. All of our actors that were providing driving video were obviously standing in front of, very neutral backgrounds. Is that something that is a necessity for Act 1, or, can I just upload like a video like this, and what would happen then? I've been very bullish on video to video of late, and there are a ton of reasons, one of which is just it completely negates the argument that, making an AI film is just typing in a prompt. Friend of the channel, John Finger, has been having a ton of fun with Gen 3's video to video, and this just seems like it is taking it essentially to the next level. And what's really great about it is that it gives you the chance to, break out your camera, whether it be a super expensive, I don't know what they shot that on, FX3 or something like that, probably something expensive, but you can do it on your phone too. And again, I'm doing this super off the cuff, and like Runway just announced this, so things are still coming in. But Timmy from Runway just posted this up.
Oh, yes, welcome. Come on in, come in. Yes, we have the best items in all of the city. Would you like to spin some gold?
Yeah, I totally appreciate the Henson-ness of it all. But the thing that really kind of blew me away here is actually in the eyes. The character has very expressive eye movement. There's some blinking. Not a ton, but I don't know what the input video looked like to begin with. But that's something that you run into a lot with these previous video to video mashups, is that the characters do tend to have wide open eyes that never blink, and it's a little bit on the unnerving side. Additionally, Nicholas Newbert from Runway also posted this up. I can't actually run the music. I'm pretty sure it's copywritten. But yes, she is singing. There is a music track going on underneath this. I'll leave a link to it down below. This is a great use case of, potentially using it for a music video. So Act 1 is apparently rolling out slowly right now. So hopefully within 24 hours, I will have access to it. As I've been thinking about it, yes, there are probably going to be limitations, things that it is not great at, but that's actually kind of one of the most exciting parts as well, is that challenge of figuring out how to make it either do something that you want, or, kit bash it or break it or do something that is even cooler. That's our job. In the meantime, I'm going to go brew myself up another cup of coffee and continuously hit refresh on my browser until it appears. I thank you for watching. My name is Tim.